looking at it as an excuse and going, oh, well, I didn't have a father, so I'm just gonna be negative. And when I was 16, I went out on a trip with this other guy in the bush. We planned it so we would spend a night at a certain camp. For those who don't know, I'm a fisherman, so I had fish stocked in the freezer. So I bring some of the fish up so that we could do a cook as well. So this guy seemed pretty nice to me because I was 16 and I couldn't really see bad signs out of people. When I was 16, I did not have a barrier for people. I did not have boundaries for people. For those who are maybe very lonely or don't really have any friends, you don't really have many close friends that you're available with very much, do not get desperate. Do not allow people to say, hey, do you want to go do this? Do you want to hang out here? And let them suck you in on something that they want to do when in reality you actually had work to do and you had things to do. Do not do that. So I went to our camp spot. This guy was a little bit late. I also bring a friend of mine, and he just so happened to bring a friend of his. Now, I'm not gonna get too much into it because I don't want my friends to think, wait, was that me or something? But this guy was straight up traumatic and negative the whole time. There were snippets of him where he was happy and he was joking around. But when something did not go his way, when he was reminded of something that happened in the past, he would just straight up flip out. And it just so happened to be that his friend was the same but worse. And they just so happened to be consuming drugs. They were very rude, they were very negative and iffy situations. These guys had a lot of things going on, and I did not know that. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the red flags in anybody. And for anyone out there, for any girl out there that ended up with an abusive husband or something, for a man that ended up with a girl that ended up prosecuting him and taking half or whatever, this ain't gonna sound pretty, but that is all of your fault. There's no such thing as completely hidden traits in people. And there's no such thing as completely hidden things in the universe. The universe will show you signs that you gotta leave. You were just so sucked in, so either in whatever situation it was, you were so sucked in by the love drug in a relationship, you were sucked in by the desperativeness to not be alone, you were sucked in by weak things. Now, I was just sucked in because I was ignorant and I couldn't see the red flags. Okay, and the lesson is, don't be those people. Do not be those people who are negative all the time. Do not be those people who make their past traumas their identity. And that's very easy to say, well, Ashton, how do I not be that person? And it's hard because the people who actually are that don't even know that they are. They are completely unaware of their negativity. They are completely unaware of the effects that their trauma are having on their life. They're completely unaware of it. And you can tell when you meet one of these people because they're very distraction driven. And they're very negativity driven, let's just say. These people that I was with, they were very defenseful, they were very lustful, they were always talking about girls. Oh, bro, this girl's so bad. I actually fucked this girl, bro. Bro, I actually fucked a girl that was 30 years old. Bro, I went to a party one time and just started kissing a girl. All these little weird stories. And then they were super defensive. Whenever I asked them about something that they particularly didn't like, or I showed them something that they should improve on, they got super defensive straight away and they took it personal straight away. Now, if you do have trauma that's making you like this, you should get some counseling, you should meditate, do lots of journaling, figure out the problem and figure out the solution. Trauma usually comes from something really bad that happened when you were little, and the pain that you're feeling is the grief of it. I had no father, I was abused, I blah blah blah, I didn't have a mother, whatever it is. My mom was a crack addict, she chose crack over me, all this stuff. Grief is when you lost something and didn't gain something out of losing something. That's the feeling of searching for what you gained out of something that just happened. Now, all that a person is buried in their trauma, and negative would look at that and go, oh, I didn't have a father. I was beat, I was abused. Man, I just have it worse than everybody else. I just have it harder than everybody else. But the reality is you don't have it any worse. You just have it in a different circumstance. The reality is where you're put in life is not always just worse. It's just in different circumstances. You just have different strengths than other people. You can use that trauma to motivate you to become something super powerful. But you're looking at it as an excuse and going, oh, well, I didn't have a father, so I'm just gonna be negative, and oh, I had a flat tire today. Oh, it's the worst day of my life. Oh, my wife just left me. It's all their fault. I'm just gonna fly away in my abyss. Start taking drugs and just be a loser. Don't be that person. If you grew, like, this is just an example. If you grew up without a mother or a father, you will grow up with a stupendous amount of motivation to get successful so that you can help others around you not feel broken. You'll feel an extreme amount of motivation to say, my kids will not grow up fatherless. Become successful, become married, have kids, and prove it. Whatever life has taken away from you is motivating you to change something in our world. It is giving you that fire, that power, that motivation. So don't sit in your hole and say, oh, well, I grew up without this, so I'm just gonna become fat and obese and beat my wife and beat my kids and just watch football. You gotta look at that shit and say, no, that is not happening to my kids. That is not happening to whoever. I will never be broke again. My kids will never have to deal with what I dealt with. I'm going to inspire other people and tell them how to work their way around what I've been through so that they'll never go through what I've been through. Get a voice, get a platform, motivate yourself, become something, tell them your knowledge, tell them what you went through, and tell them how to get out of it. Do not grow bitter. Do not start saying, oh, I'm depressed. Do not lust after people. Do not chase sex. But bro, you have no idea how good it feels. It feels so good. But the reality is why does that matter if it destroys your chances of success? Why does it matter if it destroys your focus, destroys your purpose, destroys any of it? If it even touches anything like that negatively, it does not matter how good it feels. I don't care how good it feels. You are in control of this. Do not use where you grew up, the friends that you have, as an excuse to go and do that shit. To go and be a bitter person. To go and talk about how terrible life is. To get drunk and go to parties. Do not do that. That is for people who are too weak. That is for people who aren't smart enough to understand that. So if you're one of these people and you want to get rid of whatever is causing this negativity, this blah blah blah, all the lust, the bitterness, the trauma, the complaining, the anger, first look at who you're hanging out with. This guy that I was with, I think all of his friends are like this. I wouldn't be surprised that all of his friends are like this. And heck, if I was hanging out with that guy, if that guy was one of my friends, or if whoever is like that was one of my friends, I would turn negative, lustful, and bitter too. I just remember hanging out with this guy and he said, man, this is the worst day of my life. That is the most negative thing you could say to yourself in any day of your life. It is so sour, so pathetic. I'm just looking at him like, oh man, just shut up. Stop saying those things. Do you want to feel miserable? Is that what you're trying to make yourself do? And the only way I could have compassion for this guy is that the reason why he's doing this is because he's so clouded by his trauma. But the reality is that's probably not the reason. The reason is he hangs around with people who are negative, bitter, and lustful. He hangs around with people who've been raped, abused, fatherless, motherless. He hangs out with these people, so it's only gonna amplify his problem. Even after that interaction with him, I was just down for days because of how freaking negative he was. It sucked out all of my positivity, man. I had to just completely rest for a few days. Do not hang out with those people. And do not be one of those people, because that's even worse. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just had something to get off my chest. Make sure to take life seriously. See you guys next time. Peace.